Hello and good day everyone. We, the Group 6, are going to discuss the male and female reproductive system. So today, you will first name the functions of the human reproductive system, identify the structures and functions of male and female reproductive systems, and lastly, explain the menstrual cycle in simple terms. So here's a little trivia about the topic. Did you know that a human baby's heart begins to beat around 21 or 22 days after fertilization? Okay, so let's talk about the human reproductive system. It is a set of organs and structures that work together to ensure the survival of the species by producing offspring. So the human reproductive system is the system in our bodies that allow us to create a new life. In simple terms, it involves the combination of a man's sperm and a woman's egg to form a new human being. So ang overall is ang reproductive system naton amo ni siyang kung paano ang mga tao ba maka-reproduce kag maka-continue the cycle of life by creating an offspring. Next is we have the two types of reproduction: sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. So for sexual reproduction, it involves the fusion of specialized cells, which is the sperm and egg cells from two parents to create a new organisms. While asexual reproduction involves the creation of new individuals from a single parent organism without the involvement of specialized reproductive cells. For example, sa sexual reproduction, amo ni siya how human reproduce. While sa example naman sa asexual reproduction, makita mo niya siya sa mga plants like strawberries. So the human reproductive system has four specific functions. First, to produce gametes, which is the egg cells and the sperm cells. Next, to store and transport these reproductive cells. To nurture offspring as it develops. And lastly, to produce hormones.
The male reproductive system. So this includes the testes, scrotum, vas deferens, urethra, epididymis, male accessory glands, and penis. All these organs work together to produce sperms, the male gamete, male sex hormones, and other components of semen. So for the male reproductive system is divided into components: the internal and external genitalia. For the internal genitalia, these are the primary sex organs, which consist of testes, reproductive tract, which consists of epididymis, vas deferens, and last, the accessory sex glands, which consists seminal, vesicle, prostate gland, bulbourethral glands. And for the external genitalia are the penis and scrotum. The internal genitalia. First, testes or testicles. So as you can see on the picture, makita nyo nga may oval shape nga are parts sang scrotum, and these are responsible for the manufacture of sperm and sex hormone testosterone. And the function is producing testosterone or ginatawag nga male sex hormone. Second one is epididymis. As you can see man sa picture, are sa top sang testicles, and where sperm mature stored for a short time. Ang main niya gid nga function is ang sperm maturation and storage at the same time. Next is the vas deferens. So this is a muscular tube about 45 cm long, or also called a sperm duct or a ductus deferens in each testicle. The job of this ducts is to move sperm away from its storage place in the testicle. And next one is the urethra. So this is called a tube that extend from the bladder to the external opening at the end of the penis. So mo ni siya ang alagyan or ang tube kung mangihi ka diri na digaaging imong urine. So this tube allows urine to pass outside the body. Next, seminal vesicle are sac-like pouches located close to the base of the bladder that connect to the vas deferens. Mo ni siya ang two small glands that store and produce the majority of the fluids or tawag nga semen. So for the information of everybody, during ejaculation, may fluid nga gina-produce wherein it can then move onto mix into other reproductive fluids. Next, prostate glands. This is a walnut-sized organ that is located in front of the rectum, below the urinary tract. The sperm contains extra fluid from the prostate gland. Sperm are also nourished by prostate secretion. This tube, this is the bladder in men and surrounds the top portion of the tube that drains urine from the bladder, or ginatawag na urethra. The primary function is to produce the fluid that nourishes and transports sperm or seminal fluids. Next is the bulbourethral glands, also known as Cooper's glands, are pea-sized structures that line the walls of the urethra right below the prostate gland. These are a short duct from each gland enter the proximal end of the penile urethra, or it responds to sexual stimulation, secrete an alkaline mucus-like fluid. These three accessory glands are function two. First, nourish the sperm. Second one is protect the sperm from the acidic environment of the woman's vagina. 3. Enhance the motility or movement of the sperm. The last one is to combine seminal plasma and sperm are called semen. Semen may be secreted during sexual intercourse before ejaculation.
External genitalia. Penis is a cylindrical tube which serves as both reproductive organ and an excretory organ. It delivers sperm into the vagina during sexual intercourse. The penis has two main functions: to provide a duct to expel urine from the bladder and deposit sperms in a woman's vagina to fertilize an ovum. Also, penis is important to overall health partly because of its urinary and reproductive functions. If your penis is not working well, it may be because of other problems like diabetes or heart disease. You should pay attention to how your penis looks and works so you can discuss any problems with your healthcare provider. Scrotum is a sac that contains the testes. The testicles make sperms, and to do this, the temperature of the testicles needs to be cooler than the inside of the body. This is why the scrotum is located outside of the body. Also, the scrotum is a sac of skin that hangs from the body at the front of the pelvis. Between the legs, it sits next to the upper thighs, just below the penis. The scrotum contains the testicles. These are two oval-shaped glands responsible for producing and storing sperm. They also produce several hormones, the main one being testosterone. The scrotum hangs outside the body because it needs to maintain a slightly lower temperature than the rest of the body. This lower temperature helps to maintain sperm reproduction. Scrotal tissues helps protect the structures inside the testicles, where the sperm's important hormones are produced. In addition, the scrotum protects the testicles and the major blood vessels, as well as tubes that release sperm from the testicles in the penis for the ejaculation. Sperm cell. Sperm cell is the male reproductive cell, or gamete, in anisogamous forms of sexual reproduction. It resembles tadpoles in shape with oval heads and long tails. Sperm develop in the testes, which is only about 1 to 500 inches long, but most of this is a tail. Sperm are tadpole-shaped, microscopic cells that are part of semen. According to numerous children's health, the job of the sperm is to fertilize the egg in order to create an embryo. To get to the egg, the sperm is carried along by the fluid that's produced by different male sex organs. Also, did you know that the sperm can live 55 days inside the vagina, just to waiting for the egg to appear so that they can fertilize and it do what nature intends them to do, according to the American Pregnancy Association.
Now that we have explored the intricacies of the male reproductive system, let's shift our focus to the equally fascinating female reproductive system. The female reproductive system consists of external and internal organs. It creates hormones and is responsible for producing gametes, maintaining fertilized eggs as they develop into mature fetuses and become ready for delivery. It is also responsible for fertility, menstruations, and sexual activity. The vulva is the external genitalia of the female reproductive system. It is another name for genitals. It's the area between your legs that allows you to menstruate, give birth, pee, and experience sexual pleasures. The functions of vulva is to protect the delicate innermost parts of the female reproductive and urinary system. During menstruations, it provides a passageway for blood and mucosal tissue discharge. It provides a passageway during parturitions at the time of coitus. It receives the penis and holds the sperms until they pass into the uterus. The vulva is a broad term representing all of the structures constituting the female external genitalia. So there are various parts of vulva. The first one is the moon pubis. The moon pubis is the one who protects and covers the internal organs. During puberty, the women moon pubis was covered of hair, and when it comes to the day where women started menopausal, ang pubic hair tag start nipis. Not only sa private part, but also in the armpit, legs, and arms. And most likely, nagkakos ng pagnipis ng pubic hair is because of hormonal fluctuations. The decrease ang production ng estrogen and progesterone, which causes of increasing the androgens. And these androgens is the reasons why ang hair follicles started shrinking, leading to hair loss and thinning. The second one is labia minora. Labia minora, also referred to as the inner labia or nymphae, are two thin folds of skin located inside the labia majora, which is the outer lips of vulva. Labia minora can vary in sizes, shapes, and color among individuals and serve as an important functions in protecting the vaginal opening and clitoris in mechanical irritations, dryness, and infections. The third one is the labia majora. As mentioned earlier, the labia majora is the outer lips of the vulva. It's composed of skin and adipose tissue, which gives them a plump and cushiony appearance. So the primary functions of the labia majora is to provide protections to internal genital structures, maintaining moisture balance and optimal temperature for the reproductive system. Fourth one is the clitoris. The clitoris came from the German word clitoris, which means little heel because that's what it looks like. The clitoris is an important sexual organ that comprises of several internal and external parts, and clitoris is the most erogenous parts of vulva. Unlike other parts of the female reproductive system, such as the uterus or the vagina, the clitoris does not serve any direct reproductive purpose. Instead, its main role is to provide sexual pleasure. Urethra. Urethra is a tube-like structure that carries urine from the bladder to the outsides of the body. So the primary functions of urethra is to expel urine and serve as a passageway for urine to exit the body during urinations. Next is the hymen. Hymen is a membrane that partially covers the opening of the vagina in females. The hymen does not completely have, nor does it serve a specific psychological functions in female reproductive system. The last one is the vaginal opening. Vaginal openings serve as the entry point for sexual intercourse, menstrual flow, and childbirth. It also played a significant role in sexual functions, reproductive health, and overall well-being. So the female genitalia is indeed interesting as it comprises the reproductive and urinary tract structures. The functions of your external genitals are to protect the internal parts from infections. So to put together, all of these structures are referred to as vulva.
The female reproductive system is a complex and intricate part of the human body. In this report, we will delve into the internal genitalia, including the vagina, uterus, fallopian tubes, cervix, and ovaries. Understanding the structures is crucial for comprehending the process of human reproduction. So first, let's start with vagina. Vagina is a muscular and elastic tube that connects the cervix to the external body. It also acts as a birth canal by expanding to allow delivery of the fetus during childbirth, as well as the entryway for sperm during sexual intercourse. Next, we have the uterus, also known as the womb, which is a muscular, pear-shaped organ with thick walls situated in the center of the pelvis. The uterus is fixed in place by various ligaments. The main objective of the uterus is to maintain a developing fetus. Next, we have the fallopian or uterine tubes, which they function as channels for oocyte transport and fertilization. The bilateral muscular fallopian or uterine tubes connect the uterine stalks to the superior regions of the ovaries. Ovum fertilization often takes place in the fallopian tubes, and fertilization of the egg by sperm typically occurs within these tubes as well. Next, we have the cervix, which is found in the lower narrow end of the uterus or womb that connects the uterus to the vagina or birth canal. The cervix allows fluids such as menstrual blood to pass from the uterus into the vagina. It also widens during the birth of a baby, and it acts as a protective barrier between the uterus and the vaginal canal. And lastly, we have the ovaries. The ovaries are two almond-shaped glands, which each about the size of a walnut. The ovaries has two main functions, which is the production of hormones, chiefly estrogen and progesterone, and stimulation of an ovum's maturation during each menstrual cycle.
Female reproductive system. An egg cell is also known as an ovum, is the female reproductive cell in organisms that reproduce sexually. In humans, the egg cell is produced by the ovaries and is essential for fertilization by a sperm cell to form zygote, which eventually develops into an embryo. The egg cell is much larger than a sperm cell and contains the genetic material necessary for the development of a new individual. The journey of the sperm cell. Sperm cell pass through different parts before reaching an egg cell to fertilize. The sperm pathway begins in the testes, produce sperm, then to the epididymis allows sperm to mature, vas deferens, urethra, and then ejaculatory duct. Upon leaving the epididymis, sperm mixes with fluids released by the prostate and seminal vesicles. The sperm travels to the egg through the cervix and uterine cavity to reach the egg. Contractions of muscles in the uterine cavity and chemotaxis help sperm find its way to the egg.
Now let me discuss the menstrual cycle. This cycle is a natural recurring process in the female reproductive system that lasts for an average of 28 days. This involves body preparation for potential pregnancy. The menstrual cycle is a natural process that prepares the female body for pregnancy. It consists of four main stages. First is menstruation, follicular phase, ovulation phase, and luteal phase. The cycle begins with menstruation. During this phase, the lining of the uterus is shed, resulting in the release of blood and tissue from the body through the vagina. This process typically lasts for 3 to 7 days. Next is the follicular phase. Here, the pituitary gland releases hormones that stimulate the growth and development of ovarian follicles. Each follicle contains an immature egg, and this phase prepares the body for ovulation. Around the midpoint of the cycle, ovulation occurs. A mature egg is released from the ovary and is ready for potential fertilization. This phase is critical for conception and lasts about 24 hours. Finally, we enter the luteal phase. The empty ovarian follicle transforms into the corpus luteum, which produces hormones that prepare the uterus for a possible embryo implantation. If fertilization does not occur, the cycle begins anew with menstruation. These stages work in harmony to maintain reproductive health and fertility. Understanding the menstrual cycle is key to understanding the body's natural rhythm. Now let's also discuss the diseases or illness related to reproductive system. First is the STIs, or known to be as the sexually transmitted infections. Sexually transmitted infections are infections that are transmitted through sexual contact, including vaginal, anal, or oral sex. Common STI include chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, HRV or AIDS, herpes, and HPV or human papillomavirus. Symptoms for STI can vary but may include genital sores, unusual discharge, pain during urination, itching, and pain during sex. The treatment for this disease is it involves antibiotics for bacterial infections, antiviral medications for viral infections, and lifestyle changes to prevent transmission. For the preventive measures include practicing safe sex using condoms, genital or getting vaccines, and regular screening for early detection. Next is infertility. Infertility is the inability to conceive a child after 1 year of unprotected intercourse. Both men and women can experience infertility, and it can be caused by various factors. One of the causes of infertility is that it can include hormonal imbalances, ovulation disorders, sperm issues, fallopian tube blockage, age-related factors, and lifestyle factors. And the treatment for this may include fertility drugs to stimulate ovulation, surgery to correct anatomical issues, assisted reproductive technologies like IVF, and lifestyle changes. The emotional impact is infertility can have emotional and psychological effects on individual and couples. Counseling and support services are available to help cope with the emotional challenges. Next is the prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is a common cancer in men that affects the prostate gland, a small gland that produces seminal fluid. Symptoms for this disease is early stage. Prostate cancer may not have symptoms. Symptoms can include urinary issues, blood in urine or semen, erectile dysfunction, and bone pain in advanced stages. Treatment options for prostate cancer includes active surveillance, surgery, radiation therapy, hormone therapy, chemotherapy, and targeted therapy.
And that's it. Hope you've learned from our discussion. Thank you for watching.